All right, people. So I'm here to talk about how Daniel Bryan should get pushed more in WWE. So let's start off with the Daniel Bryan timeline and how he ended up in the position he's in right now. So let's flash back to about mid-April, May. That's when he first started to get hot, to gain some momentum. The fans started chanting yes more. I remember at WrestleMania is really when he had one of the biggest yes chants. You saw everybody in the audience chanting yes. I remember that pretty clearly. And then he started to get more hot, gained some steam. Finally got out of that ridiculous tag team. What were they? Hell no, Team Hell No. He was way overdue to get out of there. It was clearly Kane was holding him back. People like to say that was good for his career. I don't get how it was good for his career because it was a piece of shit tag team pretty much. Yeah, it was funny in the beginning a little bit, but it just dragged on. They just kept arguing and arguing, and it just got boring. Just same old shit for like 6 months. It's like enough with Team Hell No, and finally they broke up. I don't know, like May, March, April, May or June. Sometime they broke up. And then Daniel Bryan started taking off a little bit. Started getting some singles wins over Sheamus, Randy Orton. And he wrestled. He was in the Money in the Bank match at Money in the Bank. Obviously, it's at Money in the Bank. But yeah, he was in the Money in the Bank match, and he lost that. Probably should have won it. Instead they gave it to the boring piece of shit Randy Orton. Seriously, they give it to Randy Orton over Daniel Bryan, CM Punk. Even Sheamus is better than Randy Orton. Everybody in that match was better than Randy Orton. I think they had Christian. I remember saying, everybody in that Money in the Bank match was better than Orton. So he lost that. Then the night after, Cena picks him as number one contender, and the crowd just erupts. Yes, yes, they're chanting yes. A great moment there. And you think, okay, this is about where it's going to end. You don't think they're going to put him over Cena clean. He's not going to beat Cena clean, but he does. He goes on. Let's backtrack. Before that, like I think it was a week before SummerSlam, Cena and Bryan cut a great promo. I think that's something that gets overlooked a lot is great promos. Like the more memorable matches are remembered and shit like that. But great promos sometimes I'll remember. And that was a great promo from Cena and Bryan on Miz TV. It was funny how Miz was just standing there in the background. It's his TV show and he's not even fucking talking. But it was a great promo. It really was. Excuse me there. So yeah, and then they went on to have a really good match at SummerSlam, probably in the top 5, at least top 10 out of matches of the year at SummerSlam. A great moment. You had Bryan going over Cena clean, and kudos to Cena for putting over Bryan clean. I know a lot of people always complain about, oh, I don't want to put this guy over. Shawn Michaels, for example. You always hear stories about him crying like a crybaby, not wanting to put people over. And I always hear stories about how Hulk Hogan never let his opponents get in any offense, and even Steve Austin, to a little bit of a degree, I heard was a crybaby and maybe not a crybaby, but he wouldn't put people over. Like he wouldn't put Brock Lesnar over, but The Rock did. That's the thing about The Rock. He even when he was younger, in his prime, he put people over. As much as I hate The Rock now. He put people over. He put over Brock Lesnar when Steve Austin wasn't willing to, and Brock Lesnar put him over at SummerSlam. And then I remember on a Battle Royal, on Raw, Booker T eliminated The Rock, and Rock clapped. He's like, "Good job, Booker T." That's how you get somebody over. Even though The Rock sucks, he doesn't really bury anybody. All right, Triple H just comes out, buries everybody for his own good nowadays. Or at least The Rock, he gets at least he was willing to get Cena over. All right, that's more you can say about Triple H. You're not willing to get anybody over. Not even the hottest thing in wrestling. Triple H for CM Punk, Night of Champions. Triple H has to win. Yeah, it's retarded. But back on the Daniel Bryan thing. So they have a great match. I'm happy. Oh, Bryan's champion. Holy shit, they made Bryan win. Oh, I'm so happy. But you're thinking, oh, it was Orton. But, and then the confetti starts coming down. You're like, holy shit, they're going to give him the belt. And then, of course, Orton comes down. Triple H screws him, cashes in the Money in the Bank. That's holy fucking shit. This is fucking retarded. You're gonna give the belt to this Randy Orton? So, then everybody's like, oh, it's okay. It's to get people, it's just to get Bryan more over. And I'm like, no, he's more over than he is ever going to get. He's not going to get more over than this. So why don't you just give him the belt right now at SummerSlam? When people look back at the year of Daniel Bryan, the last thing they think about is that Bryan beat Cena clean. That's not what you want to do. You want that to be the focal point, the climax of his push, to beat Cena clean. How can you get more better than beating Cena clean? But instead, he's going to beat Orton, and then they're going to have this big feud, and at the end, he's going to be champion. Is this going to get him more over? All right, I'm like, you guys are retarded. You don't know what the fuck you're talking about. So come, it's Battleground, all those fucking pay-per-views that they fought at. I think they fought 3 times, other than at the SummerSlam. They had, I think, one good match out of all of them. One had, I think, Battleground is where the shitty finish came in. Even, the other 2 pay-per-views, you had one legit finish at Hell in the Cell, I guess. At least you got a winner. The other 2, you didn't get a winner. You got a winner at Night of Champions, but he took the belt away. So, it was just a dragged out storyline that didn't need to happen. We just saw Daniel Bryan, Randy Orton feud on Raw like a couple months ago. You don't need to see it again. And why is Randy Orton in the main event? He sucks. Nobody likes him. I was the one bashing Orton, and I'm not acting like I'm the only one. Many people disliked Orton after SummerSlam, but there was also many people who was like, oh, corporation, it's evolution, rebirth. And of course, everybody turned on them, and nobody really likes Triple H and Randy Orton anymore. So, you got the hottest thing in wrestling right now. It's no doubt about it. He's the hottest thing in wrestling. He's the most over guy. You cannot dispute that. So don't fucking go on my channel or whatever, and fucking say, oh, he's wrong. No, you cannot dispute that. He's the most over guy. He gets the loudest reactions. He has the biggest fan following, really. When you go on people's Twitter, YouTube, he's the guy that gets praised most. He's the most over guy. Out of kids, out of adults, out of every single fucking person, group of people in the wrestling community. He's the most over, alright? Wrestling ability. In my opinion, he is the best wrestler. And in most people's opinions, he is the best wrestler, alright? He's the best wrestler. There's no really disputing that. Nobody really even comes close to Daniel Bryan. Especially right now. There's a far distance between 1 and 2. Daniel Bryan's a number 1, and maybe CM Punk. I can't even really say that CM Punk's maybe though. CM Punk. Daniel Bryan's definitely better than CM Punk right now. Wrestling ability. And, promo ability. He obviously showed he could cut a good promo with Cena on the Miz TV. So he's got all 3 tools you really look for. He's over, he could wrestle, he's got promo skills. So what do? They fuck him up. They put him on the Wyatts. At first I supported this idea. I'm like, oh, it's going to be good, I think. But let me get something straight. I think it would be 10 times better to push him big, put him in the main events, put the belt on him, make him a baby face, do the yes thing. But they fucked that up too. They fucked up the yes chance. Now it's just everybody who wants to chants yes. The Big Show is chanting yes. Everybody on Tribute to the Troops is chanting yes. You can't fucking take somebody else's catchphrase they made up. And Daniel Bryan said he made that up himself. You can't take that if you're another superstar and use it for yourself to get a reaction, like the fucking Big Slow did. So it's stupid what people are doing, trying to take this. Other wrestlers are trying to take this chant. Or when heels try to chant no, it just looks retarded. Like, everybody starts chanting yes when Orton's cutting a promo, and he's like, no. Wow, what a comeback that is. It's stupid. So, he's the most over guy, and they won't give him the belt. But I would rather see that 10 times better than 10 times more than this, what he's in with the Wyatts. But they're obviously not going to put him in the main event. They're obviously not going to give him the title belt. So if he has to do anything else, join the Wyatts. All right, there's nothing. They're making him into a boring babyface. He's getting stale. Looks sort of dorky now. So I was all for the Wyatt thing. Give him a new character. Give him a new look. And I'm not liking it. Why? Because he fucking lost. Why? And he's like, oh, I'm a monster. And they show him backstage. He doesn't look anything like a monster. He looks like his own self. Like he didn't even join the Wyatts. He doesn't look like a monster, really. They just gave him new clothing. He doesn't look like a fucking monster. He's like, oh, I want to be a monster. He's not acting like a monster. And he loses. I'm listening to like the Brad Rules review, and he makes a good little argument here. He came to the Wyatts to win. You know, he said, oh, the machine wouldn't let me win. Well, now he's not winning at all. He lost. So it's not benefiting him, you know. The Brad Rules made a good point there. So this whole fucking storyline I think is going to be a disaster now that I see where they're going with it. Is he going to lose all the time, really? The Usos and Rey Mysterio, 3 guys with horrible characters, and you know, they're decent wrestlers and all, but they're really the Wyatts. You know, they added this new member. They're a stronger team. They're a unified family. You know, JBL always says, great teams beat great individuals. I know the Usos, you know, are 2, but Rey Mysterio, you know, and they lose. What? They just got a new team and they're fucking losing. How can you take Daniel Bryan seriously and the Wyatts, this new storyline, seriously, if they lose to the Usos, who've never been tag champs, and fucking Rey Mysterio, who's got injured, he's injury prone, he has barely been there. I don't even remember the last time he was on Raw. So this whole storyline I think is going to be a disaster. They've already fucked over Daniel Bryan. Yeah, you want to make money, you know, just fucking fuck up Daniel Bryan. And I got the inspiration to make this video because I was watching the video on Bleacher Report of the Michigan State crowd chanting yes. So obviously he's over. If you get a whole college basketball crowd chanting his chant's over, he's over. So it's obviously a catchy chant that WWE's just fucked up. I hate when they tell you to say yes. Oh, you know, it's like, you know, the superstars come out and, you know, stealing his theme, or the announcers are chanting yes, or, you know, every fucking person on Tribute to the Troops is chanting yes. It's like, shut the fuck up. And the one good thing about his push is it was an organic push. It was a natural push. It wasn't artificial, like where WWE pushes somebody because they're big or because they suck Vince McMahon's cock. No, it was a natural push because the fans actually wanted something. But whenever we want something, we don't get it. That's the thing. You know, the fans, you know, every single fucking fan in the WWE universe could like Daniel Bryan. But no matter how many times we chant yes, or how many times we praise this great wrestler, this great talent, he's never going to get pushed. Why? I don't know why. You know, does Vince McMahon want to make money? It's a fucking business. Does he want to make money or not? It's obviously going to make the most money. Ratings are in the fucking, you know, toilet right now. Viewership is pretty, I think it's down, you know. Pay-per-view buys aren't doing that great either. So why not go with Daniel Bryan? You know, you're just going to keep pushing Randy fucking Orton. Nobody's buying the fucking pay-per-views. Nobody's buying anything in this fucking company. This company is in the fucking, you know, compared to what it was, you know, 13 years ago in the Attitude Era, or whatever, 15 years ago in the prime of the Attitude Era. It's fucking horrible right now. It's just a shitty company. I've said this like 1,000 times. To be successful, you have to listen to your fans. And everybody's like, oh, Cena draws. What does he draw? Fucking 2.8 ratings? Fucking low-ass pay-per-view buys? Nobody likes Cena. You always hear people saying they stopped watching wrestling because of John fucking Cena. And I did too. You know, I stopped watching fucking SmackDown. I stopped, you know, maybe it's not directly because of John Cena, but just because of this whole retarded PG product. I stopped watching SmackDown consistently. I stopped watching Main Event too. You know, they just got to put effort into these shows. They got to actually push people who the fans actually like. So, you know, Daniel Bryan just works his ass off for his whole life to be a wrestler, and he's a great wrestler. Best wrestler on the roster, best talent on the roster, has the most talent out of anybody on the roster by far. Probably the best wrestler in the world, or at least one of the best. I can't really say that because I haven't seen every wrestler, obviously, but he's probably one of the best wrestlers in the world. So I don't know why they're not pushing Bryan, because he's the hottest wrestler in the world right now. He's got the most fans. So WWE's fucking retarded, and Daniel Bryan's awesome. So there you go, people.